So today we're going to have a look at the drive volley. This is a shot that's similar to a volley, but due to not actually being that close to the net when we hit it, we have a swing at it almost in a similar technique to kind of like a topspin forehand or a topspin backhand. It's used by a host of professionals, especially Serena Williams, who kind of loves to take that ball out of the air and not let it bounce to take time away from her opponents. And then she can continue that forward momentum into the net and use her volleys. It's a great shot. Let's take a look. So the tactical benefits of this shot, first off, is that you're going to take time away from the opponent. Because we're taking that ball out of the air and we're not letting it bounce, that's going to give my opponent less time to recover and get into a better court position so they can defend. The second thing is that because we're taking the ball out of the air, the ball still has a lot of pace to it, so I can just kind of recycle that pace. If I let the ball bounce, then I've got to look to generate, and because I've given them more time to recover, it's a bit trickier. Whereas if I take that ball out of the air, the ball's still got some pace and I can take the time away from the opponent. And the last thing, the real tactical benefit, is once I've hit that drive volley, I'm going to continue my forward momentum to the net, where hopefully I'm going to get a kind of simple volley or maybe an overhead to finish the point. So the three key coaching points we're going to look at today, which will help us hit that drive volley well, is the first is we're going to look at having a small take back. Again, as that ball's coming in, because it hasn't bounced, it is coming through the air quite quickly. So I want to have a smaller take back again to minimize that risk of catching the ball late. So the second key coaching point is that I really want some early dynamic movement. It's really important I get up to that ball nice and early, because the contact point on a drive volley is around chest height. You know, I really don't want to let that ball drop down low, because then I'm going to have the added job of getting it up and down while trying to be aggressive. Whereas if I can take that ball at chest height, it's a lot easier to hit through the ball. Yep. The final key coaching point is that I'm going to need some fast racket head speed. So once I've got that small take back and I've got my contact point at chest height, I really need to accelerate the racket head with the wrist, because I want to get a good amount of spin to control that ball. You know, it's a semi-risky shot, so I want to make sure I've got some feel. So I'm going to accelerate that racket head, good amount of top spin, and then continue my movement into the net. So the three key coaching points we looked at today was that small take back to make sure that we get the contact point out in front. We looked at that early dynamic movement, getting up the court nice and quickly so I can make sure I get my contact point around chest height. And then we looked at that fast racket head speed to make sure I'm getting a good amount of spin and control as that ball's going over to the other side of the net. It's a really fantastic shot. Make sure you get involved and stay tuned for the next video.